Hello, dear sweet listeners, and welcome to the Infinite Escape Room Pubisode. You join our gang as they stop for a little rest, a little drink, and talk museums, Belgium, weddings, and sewers. Okay, we are in the Belgian Waffle Stomp, the premier pub off of the back of our room last minute for us, where we were in the Moofseum, the Museum of Original Figurines in Belgium. I think it's my round for drinks. I've had myself a lovely Ease Up IPA from Adnams Brewery in Southwold. I was there a couple of weekends ago, and just, always love Adnams to pieces. And this is it's a pretty good IPA. It's a little bit fruitier than I'd normally like. I'd like a fruity IPA. But yeah, so Bailey, what are you having to drink?
So I've got a little Prosecco M&S, very nice, very bougie. But it was bought from for my hen. I had a little family hen.
Oh.
A couple of weekends ago. So I had a little present. Yeah. So we're enjoying that, aren't we?
Well, I did most of it.
It's very nice, and I've shared it with my husband to be. So he just needs to replace it, so it'll be fine. He does that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And Alan, what are you drinking, mate?
I'm also drinking the very same Prosecco. The make of the Prosecco is
M&S.
Prosecco.
M&S.
It says Italiano underneath it. So,
Wow, Italian Prosecco.
From M&S.
Let's go.
From M&S, yeah.
It's very nice. I like Prosecco.
If you're listening from either Italy or M&S, well done.
Wait, it's very nice.
It is very nice.
Fine bubbles.
It is.
And Jamie, mate, what are you drinking?
I am not drinking a Prosecco. I am drinking a Blodwin's beer, and I bought it because of the label, but not because I'm into the label. Let me I'll show you on the camera of what this is. Now, I know
it is. Yeah,
like times are hard everywhere. For listeners, what it is that I'm showing everybody here is it's a Welsh beer, so it doesn't need to sell itself that badly. But what you've got is some buxom blonde-headed, well, for lack of a better word, a tart, wearing a Welsh lady's costume, holding a basket full of what I think are cockles or some kind of sea creature. And let me just read you the little story, the little tale on the back of this bottle. Blodwyn, Idris's younger sister, was fair of form and sweet of face. Her first job on leaving school was cockle picking. She proved to be the finest cockle picker in all of Wales. Unfortunately, the rest of the team's productivity would fall to all-time lows whenever Blod went to harvest nature's bounty. So, this is just to sell a beer. And we're talking about some professional cockle picker who's just distracting the lads with her cockle picking skills.
Does she not know her place?
How is it?
It's a tasty beer. It doesn't need to sell me with some buxom Welsh lady.
But I appreciate that advertising and marketing.
Backstory.
Yeah, people have spent time on that. I mean, it is a bit sexist. I don't know what it's got to do. Does it say that they just does it have anything to do with the beer?
Yeah, does it taste
Was that the whole thing, Jamie?
It's made from the finest pale malted barley and flavoured with citrus hops.
Oh, was that the end of the story though?
That was it. That's all there is.
Not made with cockles or strained through a undergarments or something
anymore.
It's brewed in Swansea. That's about it.
Yeah,
and that's the coast.
And they do.
You get cockles by the coast.
Cockles.
You like cockles?
Yeah.
I do. Yes, they're nice. They taste.
And I suppose she's
eaten by the draft.
Blodwyn's. She's kind of dressed as like somebody in Swansea on a head night would dress, I suppose. So
yeah,
there's it's kind of thematically appropriate.
Like you were dressed to seduce Marsupilami.
Do you know what? I think swap that for more of a French.
Yeah, like an onion.
And that's
like
more or
onion,
less
like
what I was thinking. Yeah,
onions, little beret. Yeah,
maybe that's where it came from. But it is a nice beer.
Yeah, I didn't realise Marsupilami was Belgian.
Never heard of him.
I thought it was I literally thought it was like Looney Tunes or Animaniacs or something like that. I didn't know it was...
same.
Is it the same universe as Tintin?
I don't know.
We're all in the same universe as Tintin, no? So. Yeah. I can tell you all about it if you want.
Yeah.
Alan, let me tell you about Marsupilami.
Marsupilami?
What?
Marsupilami?
Marsupilami. Yeah, so the Mussolini. Yeah. So yeah, I was in. Laura and I went to Belgium a few weeks ago for a weekend, and we had a lovely, lovely time. But it's got some really lovely museums, including the Moofseum, which this was based in.
No.
Museum of Original Figurines, which is actually really good fun. But also, they've got a really good comics museum. And they've got things. It's kind of like it's a real celebration of Tintin, the Smurfs, Marsupilami, and then there's also kind of other sort of lesser known Lucky Luke and things like that. Kind of characters that came out of the Belgian cartoon industry that formed, and that really kind of beautifully distinct sort of French mid-European style that grew up around it. But yeah, so Marsupilami, interesting origin story. Came out of the fact that a cartoonist was joshing around with his mate, and then in the way that old, like you know how oldie timey stories are always like, imagine if the postman had a tail, he could do all the post if he had a long tail, a really good articulate tail, and then they were like, cool, let's make a worldwide franchise off the back of that.
Well,
over the course.
what would you do? What was his? Would you like solve crime or?
It would just be a Marsupilami in a forest.
Just
do Marsupilami shit. Yeah, basically. Yeah, like his tail, his tail gets up to all sorts of shit. He's yeah.
Without him realizing.
Yeah, is it like separate to him? Is it got like a brain?
At night,
it's sentient.
At night, his tail becomes.
It's like
his tail that solves
it's
crime.
like Moon Knight or something. Like you wake up like, oh,
yeah,
the tail did it again.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, he wakes up and his tail has murdered lots of criminals. Yeah, that's the whole plot. Yeah, Moon Knight was ripped off. Yeah.
I finally made a monkey.
I didn't realise all those things were Belgian as well.
No, I didn't. I
figured Asterix and Obelix was French.
Oh, that is French. But
okay.
I think it shows up a lot there. Well, I'll get into that in a second.
I've been to Asterix Park.
Have you?
Went there on a school
Park
trip.
Asterix is so good.
Yeah, there's a theme park. That's Asterix and Obelix and all that comic book themed.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Like my dad, I think he must have been into the comics when he was younger or something, because he knew about. He was like, "Oh, cool," like that. So I was like, "I've never heard of them before." I was only 11.
I used to go from the library,
but we didn't go to Disneyland. We went to Asterix World or whatever, or Asterix Park or whatever it's called.
Park Asterix.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. It was fun, from what I remember.
I think, and somebody will come in and say this isn't true, but I'm pretty sure all the translations of Asterix, all the names make sense as a pun in every language. Like Getafix.
Yeah.
Getafix, you get. I'm sure all the rest of them are. But then you go through every language, they've done the work to make sure every name is a pun in that language.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
What's Vercingetorix then?
Sorry?
Vercingetorix.
Vercingetorix. I think that was actually Vercingetorix was actually the name of the Gaul chief.
Oh, okay. That's just his name.
That's like historically accurate. Yeah, they do slip some like weirdly historically accurate stuff into old Asterix and Obelix. Yeah. It's really cool.
Damn it! I'm learning at the same time. The bastards. So they get you.
Yeah. But
did you mean to, when you set it in the Moofseum? Was that intentional from the start, or was it because the last episode ended we were really small because it was just a nice coincidence that you with action figures and stuff?
Well, so like I said, I went to Brussels and had a great time. And the problem is I came away from Brussels with too many ideas for like things that turn into rooms. Like got some brilliant museums there, including one of my favourites, which was actually the Comics Museum. The Movie Museum was good, but like the Comics Museum was great. The Musical Instruments Museum was incredible. Like so good. Every musical instrument you could possibly ever want to see. And then with like an audio tour where you go and you kind of like you type the instrument in and it plays a bit of that instrument no matter how bizarre the instrument is. And there are so many strange. There was one that looked like a trumpet had sex with a violin. Like, it was a violin, but with no bit, and like a fucking huge trumpet horn on it. It's like, what? What's the point of that?
That sounds pretty cool.
And it sounded awful. Like, there are so many terrible sounds. It's always like, oh, this is the national instrument of Grumble Dumble Fumbles Bonch Stan. And then you listen to it and you're like, oh, God, no wonder I've never heard of your country. This is horrible.
You have no talent writing that I want to listen to.
Yeah. And like the wild shit that people used to get up to, and they were like, oh, man, how are we going to like progress from harpsichords to pianos? I know. We'll have like this incredible Byzantine thing. We build it into a cupboard and then put beautiful paneling on it, and you press a button and it does a fart or whatever. You know, they just it was anything goes. It was the Wild West.
Like
anything went.
The Belgians
with the the sound effect keyboard, like.
And the Sewer Museum, which was incredible. The Sewer Museum. So
yeah, you heard that right, folks.
So Belgium has the Rhine going through it, which is a river that runs through lots of bits of Europe. The Rhine, big river.
Yeah, it's in Germany as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's big old river.
Big old river.
big stinky river because Belgium and a lot of other people used to just kind of dump their sewage into it.
Let Germany sort it out.
Well, yeah. So you basically they covered over it. They built over the top of the Rhine, so the Rhine actually runs under the city because it's such a stinky river because it's so full of poo. Belgium didn't have a sewage treatment works until after the year 2000.
What?
Let that sink in.
Hell.
There was liquid shit running through the Rhine through this mass. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
And this museum is not only really cool from an engineering perspective because you get to go and like look at the machines and things and work through how it all worked. It's really interesting, but you then get to go to the sewers as part of I took Laura there on the last day as an extra romantic little
Laura.
kind of. You go into
the last year. We're gonna go look.
It gets better. You go into the museum and you're like, oh wow, this smells like a sewer museum. And you step into the museum itself and you're like, oh yeah, this smells like a sewer museum.
Oh, right.
Then you step into the Rhine, like the actual tunnels underneath, because you go under the ground, you're actually in the sewer.
Right.
Wow.
And you step in, you're like, okay, face mask on. Jesus Christ, like that is the thing. And then you step over the actual like torrent of shit Rhine on a punctured like little metal grate with signs everywhere saying, watch out for the rats.
Don't like, this is the chocolate river in Willy Wonka.
I was about to say Willy Wonka.
It's Luke dead, like within minutes, just like eroded, like.
Literally, I thought it was raining in there. Actually, it was my eyelashes falling out from the stench. It was. It was potent, but it was so interesting. They tell you everything about how it works and just
We thought London was bad.
I've never been to a sewer museum.
I don't think
that's actually pretty interesting.
Well, you might have a lovely time.
Mike's going to go back. Mike bought the season pass. You can go back anytime. You go to Alton Towers,
Lads Weekend,
Legoland, and sewer museums.
Yeah.
Lads Weekend in the sewer museum.
I mean, Alan, that actually sounds like an amazing weekend you just outlined.
Batman.
That's super. I love it.
Jamie, to return to your original question, I came back with all these ideas, and there was a really good art museum as well with this incredible artist. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do a escape room about him because he's done this really interesting thing, like installation art with cassette tapes and things. And I was like, oh my God, that'd be amazing. And I came back with it all. I was like, and I sat down and tried to make all of them into different rooms, and none of them actually landed. Like none of them ended up having like an interesting mechanic at the center or one that would really work properly. And then, you gave me the handover for this, and I was like, oh, the Moofseum, which wasn't the best museum we did, but I was like, oh, that's the one that's got the most interesting stuff going on for this. So that was and then I fucked up by accidentally adding a V in that confused matters, of which we confused you and sincerely.
And V. Because we thought like Roman numerals, so like 5, like it was so that I gotta say that of course I think we would have got it done a lot sooner if we were like, when you say the, do you mean key or V or the?
Or V,
as in
or apparently neither, because it wasn't even there. Oh, I apologise. What a bloody! I've been Normally I double check my rooms to the nth degree, and I fucked up. I apologise.
Oh God, no! It was just like I think it was just but that kind of added more conversation, and we still did it. So.
It stretched it out.
It's a conversational tool. It got us where we need to go.
And there was a lot of Asterix and Obelix memorabilia in there, which is why it's there. But it's also because there's a huge cultural bleed from France into Belgium and from like the whole of Europe. Because did you know that Belgium didn't exist like 200 years ago?
I didn't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they speak 3 languages there because it was just like this lump in the middle that was sort of variously fought over by different people. And then I think it was owned by France at some point. And they just sort of declared independence.
Wow.
And then that's why Brussels is sort of the home of the EU, because it's this big multicultural, multilingual space. And they've got this wonderful thing. So their name for for the welfare state is something like compulsory solidarity.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. They're like super liberal and like years ahead of everybody in this kind of stuff. And imagine French quality food, but without French customer service. Like imagine that.
Oh.
Are the Belgians?
Now we're talking.
Yeah, they're lovely. Everybody's really lovely, and they take pity on you.
They're as sweet as their waffles.
Yeah, they're really. Yeah, they're so good. Anyway, so I've gushed about Belgium enough. Basically, it came out of that and Belgium, and that's where it all came from. Belgium was a delight. I really enjoyed it.
I'm going to add that to my want to go places on maps.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of going to Belgium.
No, not me.
But
yeah.
This episode is sponsored by Visit Belgium.
Yeah.
And Hello Soup.
And Hello Bowl.
And don't forget, use this voucher code to get a free month. Hello Fork. Do not use with Hello Soup.
I've been using Hello Bowl for months now, and I wish there was something I put.
Well, I wish I was dead.
Oh, let's move on. Let's move the show on. Okay, who's got something? Who's coming in hot? Who's got something spicy they want to bring? Who's got something interesting they want to bring to the table?
Organising weddings, that's stressful, isn't it?
Yeah. Just life. Yeah, but I don't know. It just seems like some little things that we have to do now, and it's just a pain. I hope you know this. Like, just
Like what?
well, no, just like you have to just go and do stuff all the time. I just want to stay in my bed.
Is this life or weddings? I'm
both.
Both, really.
oh, okay.
But I don't know. I feel like we're on top of the wedding, and then not at the same time.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, so we've gone past this. We had this gap with the event with all the supplies and stuff, where because we organised so early on, we were really on it, and we're like, oh, hey, do you like DJ? Do you want to talk about stuff? And the DJ was like, not really, man. Just like wait till like a month before the wedding. And it was like all the supplies were like this, caterers and all this kind of stuff.
And I was like 18 months ago.
Yeah, it's like and
now it's a month.
And now
it's
they're all alive now, and they're mostly asking for money. And
yeah.
And it's like now, this email's flying now, and we are on top of it. And I think if you wrote down all the stuff we've left to do, it's not actually that much, but it feels like it is because it's all suddenly accelerated. And we knew it was going to happen, I guess, but it's just like accelerated suddenly.
And every time you speak to anybody and you mention the word wedding, there's another £1,000 added to the bill of any shopkeeper you speak to. Oh, have some flowers? Yeah, what's it for? It's for I'm getting married. Cha-ching!
Yeah, like literally. Yeah.
Just like what are all these flowers for? Why are you catering for 70 guests in this wonderful manor house? A-levels. Celebrating A-levels.
I just love life. What you're talking about. Yeah, I'm having a nice some friends over.
Everyone's celebrating me.
Yeah. I'm amazing.
It's Alan's bris.
Yeah.
That explains the vicar.
Okay?
It's just me and this person I live with. We're just having a party.
Saying a few words. Yeah. Nothing major.
Something little might happen.
Maybe we don't know. A certificate might change hands.
Of excellence.
It's just. Again,
10 meters swimming.
Yeah.
There is a pond there.
50 meters. Yeah.
50 meters.
And
what's the minimum certificate we can get?
And then everyone's just going to eat lots of food and get.
Yeah.
So.
What's the food? Can you tell us what the food is?
Yeah, we can. I guess we can. Can we? No, it's a secret.
No,
is it a secret?
No, it's not. It's we're doing like a great British.
We don't have to tell them, Emma.
Well, I have now.
If you're coming to their wedding, switch off now.
So,
otherwise, keep listening.
So, it's like a great British picnic to start. So it's like a sharer, and then it's just it's a chicken main
because I like chicken.
Like a fancy chicken main thing, and then brownie dessert
with a milkshake.
Milkshake and ice cream and different things. Yeah.
God damn.
Sounds banging.
We'll be able to tell who of your friends listens to the podcast because the people who look at it and go, what a surprise.
Like, you don't love me.
Yeah, fuck
You're
you,
not
bitches.
my real friend.
Yeah.
I feel like Francois might listen every now and then. And he might listen because there's French stuff in this one. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no.
Francois from France.
Yeah.
Is he now?
Really?
You know that, yeah. What does Francois mean?
Francois, if you're listening, hello.
It means French one.
French man. Yeah,
yeah, he said that. Yeah.
How much are you looking forward to having the wedding out of the way?
Very much so.
Yeah, but it feels wrong to say that, doesn't it?
Everyone's like, you should be enjoying this time. And I'm like, I know.
You organise it then.
I know.
That's the
I
thing.
think I'll miss it when it's gone.
Yes, yeah.
But it's a fucking ball ache.
I'm looking forward to our little mini moon in months. I mean, not months. Secret place where nobody knows.
Who we are. I can't talk to us or
with
track
no
us
phone
down.
signal.
Alan, are you taking Bailey to the caravan for the honeymoon?
No, mini moon. It's just immediately after.
Okay.
We're going to.
What's wrong with that, Mike?
Well, there is a lot wrong with that, Alan. Really. Because there
Alan,
isn't
to be fair,
my parents' caravan. You're paying anything. So fuck you.
You almost proposed in your back garden.
But I didn't. I just
Because
thought.
I told you not to.
No, I was just. can't say no.
Don't you, Alan?
Oh my God, did you say that, Bailey?
No.
Oh, that would be perfect. That would
Don't
be
you bloody dare.
perfect.
My point was is that if we ever move, we can't go back to the place we got engaged unless we break in and then we get arrested.
I'd like to have some clarity. We'd only just moved in, so it's like that nice kind of, oh look, we've got a garden now.
Oh, I know, but that doesn't mean that we still want to get engaged there.
Oh, it's a nice garden.
Yeah. No, but we're going to Singapore and Bali for our honeymoon.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Incredible. Jamie, how would you describe your transition from about to get married, like the run up to marriage, to like post marriage?
The thing that people don't tell you about getting married is that it's a lovely party, but you are still planning an event for dozens of people, and that shit be stressful, you know? Like, it's like I've been married nearly 10 years now, and it's still just the thought of it, of planning an event like that again makes me go, fuck, no.
Yeah.
It was lovely. It was a lovely day, but just the planning of that much, I know all eyes are on, well, not me, thankfully, and second fiddle, which is perfectly fine for me. But yeah, it was nice to not have to do the event side of it afterwards.
Yeah, I think, and the thing is, it just feels like we're married already. So nothing's going to change. I don't think.
I wore the ring for a day just to see what it's like.
You're really looking forward to wearing.
I really am. I started shaking my hand around to see if it comes off or not.
You got to test it just in case it's
exactly
like the one ring.
It did fly off, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I had to chase around. I was chasing around the kitchen, just rolling everywhere.
You got to
put it back in the box and left it.
Yeah, you got to make sure the weight of it doesn't like sort of bog you down like Frodo and Mordor. Just that you feel the
I can carry it.
overbearing weight of
I can't carry it, but I can carry it.
As soon as you put it on, you just feel Sauron on the back of your head. You got to test that shit.
Have you done the dishes?
You're putting Sauron. Jamie.
She sees everything. She sees all.
Just an eye. Just...
Obviously doesn't listen to this podcast, otherwise.
She sat
Jamie?
next to me. She can hear exactly what I'm saying.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Hope you don't
Yeah,
become Sauron.
Oh, no, I never discovered.
One ring to rule them all. One ring to bind them.
We did our honeymoon in Bologna because we've been to Italy a couple of times. I proposed in Venice. We've been to Florence. That we'll go somewhere different. We'll go to Bologna, still in the north. Great. The problem is, though, thanks to climate change, I can't go back to where I proposed because it's probably more underwater than it was before, or less. Is Venice flooded or droughting? I can't remember. It's fucked either way. One of the two. But
go to Venice while you can, folks.
Yeah,
this is brought to you by Venice. Sorry.
But we went to Bologna for a honeymoon, and we didn't realize, and I didn't realize that when I booked it, that Bologna is a retirement village, more or less. So there were two kinds of people in Bologna: old people and students. So we'd wander around the city, and it would just be lots of old people. And then the one bit that we found that wasn't full of old people was a student campus, and we were not supposed to be there. It was, still a nice holiday. Yeah. But yeah, I should have checked online before I booked it what the vibe was like.
You literally had one job, I imagine, in that
yeah, and I failed at that.
Me to book the honeymoon. That was it.
On the plus side, aperitivo was absolutely banging. I would definitely do that again.
Okay, I think I see the barman's looking at us rather accusingly, and it's a picture of his wife who he misses, and he's finished polishing all the pipes. We should probably Oski poof into the night. It's been bloody lovely seeing you all this evening. If you've enjoyed listening, dear listeners, then grand. Love you lots. We'll see you next time in the Infinite Escape Room. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Marsupilami.
See you all. Who fancies that? Yeah, who fancies a kebab or a... Bring it to me.